Alan, Andy, then Damo, and then...
Hey Alan, you okay?
I'm all good, how are you?
Yeah, good.
So Chris, a result that's hard to take from Boxing Day. It's been a tricky festive period though, as we've spoken about a number of times. 4 points from your 5 games in charge. What do you make of those returns?
Well, I do believe we should have got more out of the games. Little individual moments have cost us. I think we were quite unfortunate for 2 own goals on Boxing Day. I thought the reaction, especially second half, was excellent. I think you looked at the stats point of view in terms of the attempts on goal. It was enough. We just got done on a couple of things organisation wise, which it's a learning progress from different ways of defending as well. Speaking to the players, how they've defended in the past to what we're trying to do with them as well. So there's different ways of defending. So that's obviously the issue is of time as well on the training ground. And I heard Eddie Howe saying it as well. He can't wait to get back onto the training ground and fix some issues. And we're the same. But unfortunately, the fixture list doesn't allow you to do that. And we have to learn through analysis. And hopefully not making the same mistake again.
Yeah, sort of leading on from that slightly, you called on the players to take accountability. What has their response been like in training in the days since?
Yeah, they're okay. They're one of the things that I've said all along, Alan, is that they're a really good group to work with. And they want to learn. They want to take on board what we're trying to do. Every coach and every manager has their own ideas, and it's not a right way to do it. But this is our way, and this is how we want to go with it. So. They were disappointing in terms of the manner of the goals, really, because they've not really had to work hard. I said afterwards, and I knew it was coming, in terms of what Rob would say afterwards about the character of Luton Town, which I've said and I've praised and I've commented on because I know that club quite well and what their DNA is and what their culture is. And of course they would go right to the end, but really they were gifted goals. They didn't really have to work hard for them, and they were self-inflicted. And that's a disappointing thing because the reaction second half was great. We really had it going, and really we've chucked away the points, but we can't dwell. We're quickly on to the next game, and obviously it's always a special place and a special game when you're playing against the world champions.
Absolutely, yeah. Manchester City up next. Your side still waiting on the first away win of the season.
It's one of the easier places to go and get a result, of course. Sorry, Alan, go on.
No, I was just going to say, is this the fixture that will prove the biggest challenge this season?
Listen, they're all big challenges. You look through the fixture list since we've walked through the door. There's been some incredible challenges ahead of us, and all different types. The Luton game was a different game to the Villa game away, and you have to embrace it. You have to enjoy it, and I'm enjoying it. The coaching staff are enjoying it. The players have got to enjoy it. There's a reason why we're in this division. There's a reason why we gain promotion. We have to enjoy every challenge. I've always loved going there. We've had some. The results have not always been the best, but they've always been pretty competitive games, and that's what we've got to make it.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Thank you. Chris, any injuries post Luton ahead of City this weekend?
Now, a couple of suspensions. Of course, there's a couple of players that have got knocks, bumps and bruises that we'll look at, and we've got to utilise the squad as well. I've said before, there's some, bumped into John Egan today, and he's a big player, and talking to Tom Davies, he's back on the grass as well, which is great news, and these are experienced players, Captain of his country is John Egan, and obviously Tom Davies has played a lot of Premier League, played all his football in the Premier League, so there's some big players missing as well. So, but we'll go with what we've got, and we'll be as competitive as we possibly can be.
Just on that little curveball there, the fact that they are back on grass, does that give you an idea as to when they might be able to play for you?
Yeah, of course. It's there's still a lot of work to be done, but the great thing is that they're back moving about and doing conditioning work, doing ball work, which is great to see. I'm delighted to see Tom doing that because it's been a difficult few months. He came here to play, and he's going to be a really good player for the football club. He's a good signing. And him missing is a blow. So of course they're all at different stages. There's some ahead. Obviously, Ryan's back with us. Reece Norrington Davis is back with us. Tom's in that unavailable stage at the moment, but getting there. So yeah, we're working away, and they're working extremely hard because we need as many of them back as possible.
And where are Norrington, Davis, and Brewster in terms of sort of regular football?
I don't think they're in a position to start games at the moment, Andy. But there's potential to play in 21 games. There's potential to play in bounce games, behind closed doors games, which we're going to try and fix up in the new year. So they'll get their minutes in that, and hopefully they can progress from there.
You spoke the other day about in the sort of the more negative aspects of the defeat to Luton about bravery. Given the short amount of time you've had, how do you coach that into the players?
Yeah, through messages, through actions, and communication. It's the only way you can do it. So they're learning about me as well. So they a few of them obviously know a little bit more about me than the others, and I'm learning about them as well. What they're like as human beings, what they're like as personalities, what they're like when they get left out of the team. So this is we're still only 3 weeks into it, but we have to learn pretty quickly, and we don't like losing whatever it is, and it was disappointing that we lost a game of football. For players to get to this level, for coaches and managers to get this level, they want to win. They've had to have a winning mentality right the way through their careers, and the manner of the game was obviously a disappointing one as well. But this is Premier League. This is highest level of professional football in the world, and we have to embrace that next challenge and keep saying about enjoying it as well. You're in the wrong profession if you don't enjoy going to the Etihad against the best players and the best team in the world. It's a great challenge for us.
How's Wes Fodringham from a psychological perspective? He's been in the spotlight after the Villa game and then the other day. How is he coping with the criticism that has come his way?
Yeah, he'll feel it. He'll understand that, and he has to get over that as everybody has. Everybody's been through that period as a player. I've had to suffer. Everybody has to suffer. So we can't shy away from it. And he'll be the first to admit there's certain situations that maybe we could have handled a little bit better. And this is the life and times of a goalkeeper.
Have you thought about making a change, or are you otherwise happy with him?
Well, listen, there can't be knee-jerk reactions, but players have got to play well to get into the team, and then players have got to play well to stay in the team. And if we've got people knocking on the door, then of course, you have to look at all the options. I've got to put my best team out on the pitch. This is not a challenge. This is not a I tell you what, we'll leave all the best players on the bench moment. I've never known that. There might be times, in cup competitions where you rest players and they've got injuries and knocks, and you want to see other players play in different environments and different setups and situations. But not when you're going to Man City. I'm not leaving my best players out, and I'm a little bit nuts at times, but I'm not that insane. So of course, players have got to play well to get into the team and play well to stay in the team. So everything is up for grabs, and I would expect the players that aren't playing would be knocking on the door and showing me in training and showing every opportunity is an opportunity to impress. So when the likes of Asulu gets onto the pitch on Saturday, which he did, and Brewster gets onto the pitch on Saturday, and Anis gets onto the pitch, there's always that opportunity to impress, and it's up to them to take that.
So City then next, and all that is, you can rattle off the titles, etc. How do you go about taking on a challenge like them?
Well, you've got to have a plan. You've got to have a structure, and you've in and out of possession as well. You're going to keep using the word suffer. Everybody does. You can't go gung ho. You can't go toe to toe with them because of the quality that they've got. The length of time that the manager's had in terms of putting his ideas over to the players as well, and everything that comes with Pep being the best manager in the world, for the best manager and one of the all-time greats as well. So you're up against that from a tactical point of view. The way they dominate the ball, the way they move the ball around. You know, you have to be at your best. You have to bring your A game to the table, of course. But in possession as well, you have to have an idea as well how to see if you can, you know, get out of your final third for a period of time. But we understand that how the game's going to go. We've all watched them. You've watched them. All our supporters have watched them. They're not going to be surprised in terms of the way the game goes. So we all have to understand that and accept that.
I seem to remember, actually, from the 2 trips to City the last time around, there was a lot of praise from Pep Guardiola about how United handled those occasions, because they were close games, weren't they? And barring the odd decision, I think particularly in the first season between the two, it was kind of an either-or scenario. Yeah,
it was, you know, so you want that to be the makeup of the game. I remember both home games, you know, one in lockdown, 2 in lockdown, and obviously two under the lights, and there were brilliant occasions. Both games, the game at Bramall Lane, you know, where it went deep, and the game at the Etihad, which, you know, I think it was something off the referee, and he stuck Kevin De Bruyne clean through. So nothing to do with him being from Manchester as well. So obviously that question was asked by the manager at the time. But yeah, I think that there is, and the manager at Man City has said some really good things about us in the past. So we feel that in that period we were doing things right, and that's the levels that we've got to get to. We've got to get back to those sort of levels where we're really competitive wherever we go, home and away, against the world champions, and getting that balance right. And I think it's really important, because if I remember rightly about that night, it wasn't a sit on the crossbar sort of evening. It was we had a threat going forward as well. So we have to get to those standards and those levels, and that's what we're trying to do in terms of the work we're doing with this present group of players.
If I can just close by kind of bringing it all together, you mentioned at the start about the players that aren't playing who have all sorts of different experience. Davis, obviously, Egan's been around for a long time. Does that play its part in your thinking with regard to transfer window stuff? So the players that you'd like to bring in would be more experienced and possibly at Premier League level if you can. Yeah,
I think that's the conversation that we've had with the owner. Another conversation I'm having this afternoon. You know, these players have got to go into the first team, and there's going to be players that are surplus to requirements that might feel a little bit hard done by, may not have had the opportunities that others have had, but I think you're in a period where you have to make quick decisions and gut reactions and gut feelings in terms of what you want it to look like, what you want the team to look like in those individual position specific places. So I think that the some of the players that we're looking to bring in, you understand and I understand it's going to be limited. You can't take a wrecking ball to it, but obviously there's a lot of work that still needs to be done now, and obviously going into the summer as well. So, but yeah, we will be looking. I think it's been different from other windows that I've been in at this football club. When we've been successful, we've had to make sure that we cover and give good competition in places where we needed to be. I think now is the time, and I think Prince Abdullah understands that, and obviously he's talking about that if we do make those decisions, which obviously is still to be made, that we bring players in that are going to be in a starting 11.
So, thank you very much. Ta.
Hi, Demo.
Luton was such a big game against one of your nearest rivals. Have you had a job of work to sort of lift the players' morale after such a harsh defeat? Yeah,
I want them to hurt. I want them to feel. I want them to be emotional about it. I would be disappointed if they didn't and they didn't care. So I get that. We all are. It's been a difficult couple of days. We've felt the pain of a defeat that I didn't think was deserved, and the pain of if you look over the period, so quite close to 5 points extra onto our total, which would have changed the outlook and the mood of everything. But it isn't to be, and there's a reason for that, and we have to look inward at that reason and take it on the chin and move forward. But I'll be disappointed if they didn't feel the hurt, because they have to feel the hurt of not getting the result that we were all after.